Hello friends, and welcome back to Swift Lessons for another music theory tutorial. In today's session, we're going to be discussing the differences between two chords with very similar names, the Cadd9 and C9 chord shapes. We're going to kick this lesson off discussing some of the prerequisites, specifically how the basic major chord is created using the major scale. From there, we're going to talk about what additional harmonies need to be added to that chord to create the Cadd9 and 9 chord shapes. I got a full PDF study guide to help you with your study at patreon.com/swiftlessons. Support the channel there for just $1 a month and gain access to a ton of extra resources. Now, let's get started. Okay, getting started with section 1 of this lesson, a little prerequisite information, the major scale. Now, the major scale is created by traveling through the musical alphabet using a particular sequence of whole steps and half steps. Whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. If I apply that sequence to the key of C, just find myself a C note here on the A string, 3rd fret, and I can actually play it on one string. Whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, and half step. The notes that I end up with are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and C. So no sharps and flats. Learning things in the key of C is especially easy, so always remember that when you're trying to learn a new music theory concept, do it in the key of C, no sharps and flats. Now, we can also call those notes by number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the last note we can call 8 or back to the 1. Either way, it's the octave. Okay, so there you have it, the major scale in the key of C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, great work everybody. Now that we've reviewed the origins of the major scale, we can put those notes to work creating different types of chords. Since we learned it in the key of C, we'll be creating different types of C chords. Now moving on to section 2 of this lesson, building a major chord using the 1-3-5 harmony. So very simple. A basic major chord like C major is created from the major scale by harmonizing its 1st, 3rd, and 5th notes. So if I look at my C major scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and I pick out the 1st, 3rd, and 5th notes, I end up with C, E, G. If I compare those notes to my C major chord, I'll find C, E, G. Then, as I go a little higher through the chord, the B string 1st fret, I just got another C note, it's a repeat note. And on the high E string, I have the open E. So all I'm playing inside of this C chord is just C, E, and G, the 1-3-5 harmony, or the major triad. Okay, excellent work everybody. Thus far, we have reviewed the origins of the major scale. And we've put those notes to work, creating that 1-3-5 major harmony. Now we're moving on to section 3, the C major scale in its open position. Okay, so to help you along, I'm going to add my diagram to the screen that's going to reveal the interval names as we go through the scale. We're getting started on the 3rd fret of the A string with the 1. All right, there's C. Open D string, that's the 2. Then 2nd fret of the D string, we have E, the major 3rd. Going up a half step, we have F, the 4th scale degree. Open G. Then we're going to find A on the 2nd fret, that's your 6th scale degree. The open B string is your 7. And then we find our octave on the 1st fret of the B string. Right there, we revealed all the notes that we used to create that C major triad. We have the 1, C. We have the 3, E. We have the 5, open G string. 1-3-5. We have the 1 reappearing on the 1st fret of the B string. And we have the open E string, that's another 3. So 1, 3, 5, 1, 3 creates that C major chord shape. Now, as we get into the 2nd octave, starting on that 1st fret of the B string, we'll start to see notes like 9, 11, and 13, all the notes that weren't featured in the major chord triad. So your 9 is going to be on the 3rd fret of the B string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, then we're going to have the 3rd on the open high E string. But then when we go to the 1st fret of the B string, we have the note that we're calling the 11. It's going to be the same exact note as the 4th. So the 11 is the octave of the 4th, and we just call it 11 to differentiate between the two. Now we go up to the 3rd fret of the high E string, and there we find the 5th. Okay, so that's going to be another G note, and we're just calling it the 5 because we already had G inside the triad. All right, then if we go out of this open position a whole step up, we're going to find the note that we call 13, which is the octave of the 6. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Then we have 3, 11, 5, and the 13. Okay, great work everybody. Now moving on to section 4, building that Cadd9 chord shape using a harmony of 1, 3, 5, and 9. So that is that unique formula that creates an Cadd9 chord shape. So I want to clear up some of the confusion around this chord. And actually all chords that use chord names like 9, 11, and 13. Many students are confused when they hear these things because there's only 7 notes in an octave in a major scale. But our last section told us that when we get into the 2nd octave, to differentiate between the 1st octave, we start using notes like 9, 11, and 13. Okay, so we had our C major triad, that 1, 3, 5 harmony. Now, if you want to create a C9 chord, very simple. Just find yourself the 9th scale degree and add it into the chord. There it is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Add it to the chord, 3rd fret B string for a C Cadd9 chord shape. Okay, now moving on to the final section of this lesson, building a 9 chord shape. 1, 3, 5, flat 7, 9 harmony. Okay, that's going to sound like this. Very bluesy, very jazzy. So, the difference between the Cadd9 and the 9 chord shape. In chord theory, the term add tells us to place one additional harmony on top of the basic triad like C major. So that would be that C Cadd9 chord shape. Okay, but the absence of that term add automatically implies that the dominant or the flatted 7th scale degree is to be included. So if I find my 7th scale degree of the C major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, so B is the 7th. That means that the flatted 7th will be B flat. If I add that note into that Cadd9 chord shape, then I end up with C9. So the difference between an Cadd9 chord and a 9 chord is that flatted 7th note, that bluesy note being included in the chord. So, C Cadd9, think kind of folk music, maybe some pop music in there. The 9 chord, think blues or jazz. Alright friends, thanks so much for checking out this music theory tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions at all, feel free to hit me up in the comment section down below. I'm more than happy to answer any that you might have. I want to thank my patrons for making these lessons possible. Hope you're enjoying your extra resources. Thanks to you, I've got many more videos coming up, so keep checking back. Please subscribe, please share. This is Rob at Swift Guitar Lessons in Philadelphia, saying happy picking.